Welcome in. You're watching the Blue Demon channel. So today we are working with 308L 16th inch filler. This would be the middle of the road filler. Now Blue Demon would offer 308, 309, 310, 312, 347. Each of these higher grades are going to get more into the more exotic sides of stainless, but your 308 is going to typically service most areas of the hobbyist or user end of the market. So that's where we're going to start off today. We will be using 308L 16th inch on 304 stainless in the TIG welding process with pink multi-mix 332nd tungsten and a Blaze 16 cup. So we will see how this runs very shortly. So now that we've selected material, we've selected wire, we need to get down to the nitty-gritty and get into some machine settings. As you can see today, there were a couple different variations of gas coverage, things that went right, things that went wrong. Down here we had a breeze come through the shop. So even though you've chosen all the right consumables and all the right settings, there could be some environmental issues, whether you're working indoors or outdoors, that could be blowing away your gas or causing some of the issues. So always get to the root of the problem, and remember that underlying issues can change throughout the day, so it's not always a one-trick solution when we're having an issue. Start from the top, work our way down until we figure out whether we're having a gas issue, a tungsten issue, or just maybe it is we need more practice under the hood, because not all issues are going to be solved by just running a couple test pieces. TIG welding is difficult, so don't give up before the magic happens. So amperage is going to depend a lot on user comfortability, wire size selection, material thickness. Today we're welding on 12 gauge stainless steel. I can weld on this basically anywhere from about 75 amps to infinity. Now 75 to about 120 to 140 is going to be that optimal operating zone, but the faster we move, the more wire we apply, the less heat is actually staying in one place. So the faster we can move the torch, the faster we can apply the wire, the more running amperage we can use, and as it honestly goes, the hotter and quicker I can get from one end of this to the other, the less overall heat input or joules we have put into this coupon. So actually, hotter and faster is sometimes a little better than slower and colder. It just depends on who's under the hood and who's behind the torch. So another area that typically confuses people when they're getting into TIG welding would be gas coverage. So for aluminum, steel, different things like that, they do not oxidize nearly as easily as my favorite stainless does, so we can typically get by with 7 to 10 CFH. If you were using a number 4, number 6 cup, we would be using somewhere around that area, but I want more of the purples and blues, so I'm going to be using a larger flooding style cup and a gas lens apparatus on here. So I'm going to be operating more between 20 and 35 CFH. That way I can completely push out any atmosphere with the supplied argon to where I'm left with a beautiful pristine TIG weld that has full time to cool before it is re-exposed to the impurities in the oxygen that you and I breathe every day. Stainless is not only known for its non-corrosive capabilities, but it is also good at, say 316L for joining dissimilar materials together. Good consumables, quality gas coverage, and clean material is going to be of the essence. And make sure we're maintaining a consistent arc length, travel speed, and all of that. Today you'll notice I'm going to try to hold my torch angle and wire angle right about a 90-degree angle. That way I can see what I'm doing from start to finish, maintain visibility, and effective welds from beginning to end. Stay tuned, and we'll get to it. So now what everyone is concerned about here with stainless is, of course, the color. Now, the universal rule is gold is the only thing of value. But we've got golds, we've got shades of chartreuse, blues, purples, all kinds of stuff. As long as this is not completely baked out, black, smoky, oxidized, all of this is just fine. We can use a wire wheel, we could passivate, Scotch-Brite. There's a number of different things we can do to remove or treat this oxidation, depending on whether we're doing pharmaceutical, just doing a weekend project. Color on stainless is an argument of endless debate, but I'm here to squash all the rumors. A little color is just fine, depending on our end result or application. So get out there, crank up some gas, and let's pull a little color on some stainless. Now at first, stainless can offer a lot of ups and downs, but with a little practice, you can get consistent results every time. By choosing and applying the best filler in the market, with a little practice, you'll be throwing dimes in no time.